Repeat after me. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for the opportunity that we have to gather together as citizens of Hooper, that we may discuss the needs of the city. Yes, that thy spirit may be with us, that we may be guided and directed and make decisions according to the truths that we know. We're grateful for the freedoms that we enjoy. We ask that you please bless the soldiers that serve and protect us, and bless their families, that they may be comforted as their members of their families are away from them. We're grateful for everything that thou hast given us, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, first thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes dated July 10th, 2025. Commissioner Prince sent an email with informations about discussing internal ADUs and external ADUs and that portion, and we did not discuss restricting the internal ADUs, just the outer ADU buildings that can be noted. So if we could have that change, any changes other than that? I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes dated July 10th, 2025.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for July 10th, 2025 with the changes mentioned with the accessory dwelling units, both internal and external.
Do I have a second?
A second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Severing and a second from Commissioner Greener. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Now on to the first item on our agenda, which is a conditional use permit for Sam Howard for an oversized structure totaling 1,800 square feet located at 5910 South, 6300 West. We'll first turn some time over to staff to give some information on this parcel, this request.
We've got a site plan listed here, 1,800 square foot, 200 square feet larger than the permitted size for the R2 zone. Height's not a problem. You can see the usage is just hobby, wood shop and storage. Plumbing, yes. Electricity, yes. Structure won't be used for business. There we go. We had a brief discussion about it in the work meeting, but you can see the structure here in the rear. It meets setbacks everywhere except for the rear. Setback is set at 5 foot on the site plan, and would need to be 10 foot because of a public utility easement. So just wanted to note that the applicant made us aware of that and is currently working on going through vacating an easement process with the city. The staff wasn't familiar, me primarily, with the process. I've familiarized myself with it somewhat today, so I wanted to make sure we were aware that there would be an application fee and likely a public hearing. That's what we've done in the past. That being said, this was a staff error, and the staff, including Public Works and everyone, was really comfortable with the approval of the conditional use permit, with granted one of two conditions. One of two conditions be met, one or the other. One being they move it 5 foot from the rear and are out of their easement, then we'll process it, or they go through the city prescribed process that we'll administer to get the easement removed. So again, not ideal. Next time we'll make sure we bring it to you guys either ready to go, but we can, I don't think it'll be problematic. It's really just some extra work for staff, which, like you said, with it being our error, we're happy to ensure the conditional use permit is the conditions placed are met. So our recommendation would be to approve with the one of the two conditions being met prior to the issuance of the permit. So any questions for staff? I believe the applicant's here as well. So, but if you have questions for me, let me know.
How many of these did you find when you went back and looked? You said you found a folder. How many did you find where people had to get a vacated easement? I know of one.
Yeah, I didn't go through all of them, as I mentioned, and it's unfortunate. I wish it wasn't the case. I think the last one we processed was in 2019 for Bob Edwards. It looked like, and there was just one. I would assume it's 1 or 2 a year, and we had record from about 2007 to 2019, and then I think we had our like the staff shift up and things of that nature. So I don't think it's been either we haven't had people doing it or it hasn't been getting recorded the same. But we'll make sure it gets back to the same process. I actually have Brandon looking into it to see if the public hearing's a state requirement. If it is, we'll continue. If it's not, I'm not sure. You know, we'll talk with you guys in city council if we want to modify our process at all, but we'll make sure the process is followed.
So you had stated that they wanted to do the 5-foot easement behind the building, but it shows it on the side as well, is it? So both lines?
The side is okay. There's no public utility easement
Okay.
on the south side.
That
It's
makes sense,
clear,
okay.
so they can go up to 5.
Are there actual utilities there? Because sometimes there's easements, there's nothing there.
I don't think there's anything there, but they've gone through, I think they've provided, I'd have to look, but both water companies don't have anything. I think even Dominion doesn't have anything. I think we're just waiting on Rocky Mountain, but they take a long time. And then Jared's been slammed with Tomato Days. He blinked on it and said, I don't think so, but I'll need to get a more robust, sit down and ensure. But it doesn't look like it right now.
So if there's no utilities in that, then the condition, if we approve on the condition that they get the vacation, we give him his money back? Because you said he would take a new fee?
There'll be a fee to public hear it because I think at least in the process prescribed in the older ones, Brandon writes an ordinance to remove the easement. I don't know what that means. I emailed Brandon specifically because he's been around since 2019 and said, hey, what did we do in the past? So we'll make sure it's followed. And Brandon, even though he's preoccupied now, he'll still generally get back to me in a few days with small stuff like that. So it'd be a new fee that didn't get charged already, but we would, go through the process. I think it's 250, 200 or 250 is the fee. So it's nominal, but not nothing. So.
Any other questions for staff? If the applicant is here, they could come up and we could ask some questions. Or if staff has questions, can ask.
You can flip the switch on the mic there. You'll be live.
And if you could just state your name, you don't need to state your address, but
Okay. Yeah, Sam Howard.
does anybody have any questions?
In light of the new condition, let's say, is it possible to, I mean, I'm in favor of regardless putting or approving it on conditions, but is there any way you can pull it 5 feet closer to the back of the house or cut 5 feet off and then nobody has to say anything? You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean, move it, make it 10 feet instead of 5?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be a no-brainer if you said, you know what, instead of doing it, how deep is it?
It's 30 by 60.
So if you
Yeah.
did it 30 by 55, there would be no reason to have your additional 250 application fee and then have to go to Rocky Mountain and say,
Yeah, well, we would probably just rather move it instead because we've already got the engineer drawings done and like a contract locked.
so
in
you
with them,
could
they
move
be
it
kind
to
of-
16 feet off the house, right?
Yeah, if we had to.
Well,
Yeah.
that's up to you because I think
Okay.
in talking in our work meeting, I think we were all for this, other than if you want to keep it as it is right now, then you would have to get a vacated easement because it's within the 10-foot easement, if you will. But if you moved it or cut 5 feet off of it, then that becomes null and void. Just a thought.
Okay. Is that something we would need to decide right now in order to get the permit?
No, we're just asking.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we could definitely move it if it came to that. That wouldn't be a problem. As long as it doesn't cause other problems with other distances and stuff, but
It wouldn't 10 feet between buildings, so you should be fine.
Okay. Then yeah, that'd be fine.
To me, just making sure you have, even if, you know, you don't get the vacated thing, if you have enough space to, you know, navigate. And it
Mm.
sounds like you do, so.
Yeah, I think so.
Any other questions? No. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
We'll now enter a public hearing for the conditional use permit for Sam Howard for oversized structure totaling 1,800 square feet located at 5910 South, 6300 West. During the public hearing, if you could come forward and just state your name, and then you have 3 minutes. Once your 3 minutes is up, then you can sit down. We'll open the public hearing now. Anybody have any comments? All right, we'll now close that public hearing and bring it back to the Planning Commission for discussion and motion. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the conditional use permit for Sam Howard at 5910 South, 6300 West on the condition that if he stays over the public utility easement, he gets vacated easement letters from all entities, or he moves the building or shortens the building. That what we talked about.
He shortens the building or moves the building to fall within the standard easement size.
We have a motion from Commissioner Severing for the conditional use permit for Sam Howard for the oversized structure at 1,800 square feet located at 5910 South, 6300 West on the condition that he meets either moves the building or meets the requirements set forth by the city staff. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Widdowson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We now will move into our final agenda item, which is the final approval of the Swayze subdivision located at parcel 080420075 for Braden Swayze. I'll turn some time over to staff for a presentation.
Looks like when they created the PowerPoint, they just included the plat. That's fine. You should have in your packet a utility plan. If you guys want to reference the utility plan, that'd be the only discussion point. But just briefly, we have a memo from the TRC that's done their reviews of this. This is to create a one lot subdivision or a 1.81 acre lot subdivision, the city's R1 zone. This building's located, the proposed home will be at approximately 5733 West, 3800 South, Hooper, Utah. Through the review process, everything met. The TRC is recommending approval. The frontages would not be deferred. That'd probably be a note to make, just as we did. A lot of times they get deferred. This one butts right up to an existing subdivision sidewalk. So he just continue the sidewalk on his frontage, and that's all in the drawn plans. Additionally, there'll be a land use separation fence. There'll be a small fence removed. It looks like on the west side, and a standard land use separation fence placed between there. Beyond those two typical considerations, those are in. I just wanted to highlight to the Planning Commission to ensure that, you know, the TRC operates within your guys' purview as well, that between last time this was public heard with it was public heard with Kimball Estates, I believe. So there's a public hearing, no comments, but with discussion with the applicant, there was confusion on the fact that there'd be little to no room for modification of utility lines deviating from the plat. So he made small modifications that were then recycled back through for one final, not an official review, but just some communication problems. So we processed it back with the utility companies, and they're good with the changes, back with our engineer and back with Public Works. Changed our problems. Specifically, the sewer was moved, the water line, both water lines were moved, and the approach removed further or over to the east side of the lot being proposed. That's where the home would like to be located. And really, it just boiled down to that. He's like, well, I didn't know exactly where I was going to place my home. So he put some extra effort in, determined where the home would go and move the utility lines. So with all that being said, the staff recommends approval along with the TRC for the Swayze subdivision.
Thank you, staff. Is there a representative for the applicant that could come forward and answer any questions that the commission might have?
Yep, Braden Swayze.
From my view, it looks pretty straightforward. You got everything checked off. If anybody else have any questions? Great. All right. Now I'll entertain a motion to approve the Swayze subdivision located at parcel 080420075 for Braden Swayze.
You did say that he's gonna continue curb and gutter and sidewalk, right? Because he butts up to another subdivision as part of his approval.
Yeah.
So there is a land use separation fence that's going in.
Yeah, I think on the plan there, you show it calls out removing an existing smaller one on the west and installing an adequate one. So that'll get worked out with the construction.
And all will serve letters are in.
All final will serve letters are in from everyone that's super significant. Yeah, all the water, the irrigation, water, power, sewer. Sometimes like with gas and power, it can be a little tricky. They're so large, they don't really care, but we do our best to get some type of notice, so.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we issue final approval for the Swayze subdivision located at parcel 08-042-0075 for Mr. Braden Swayze.
Motion from Commissioner Bates. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Greener. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. At this time, we'll now open the meeting to citizen comment. As you come up to state your comment, please just keep your comments to 3 minutes and note that we cannot take any action on your comments at this meeting. Do we have any citizen comment? No citizen comment. I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
I have a motion from Commissioner Widdowson to adjourn. Do I have a second?